What's up, y'all? Zach United here. I got to hang with my buddy, my old friend, Rich O'Toole, recently, and we've got a great video for you. But before we get into it, thank you, Texas. From the bottom of my heart, with your help, I have got into the top 5. We are up for Radio Broadcast Personality of the Year at the 2025 Texas Country Music Awards. It's at Billy Bob's. My mom's going to be there, and it would mean so much to me and my household if we could bring this one home, Texas. I do it all for Texas, always. If you feel so inclined, you can vote now through August 15th. Let's get into the video with Rich. What up, Rich?
What's up, my man?
Hey, so good to see you, man. Hell yeah, welcome.
Maybe a bad dream about last night. You're with me now and you're okay, like the 4th of July. Like the 4th of July. Like the 4th of July, I light up your sky. Know the day can be as good as night. Fill your heart with bright flashing lights, the 4th of July. How you been, man? We gotta hang out more. I went sober like 2 months ago, so that sucks. Well, I miss it, but I was just going out way too much, man. I was drinking like all the time.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
I hear you, dude. I'm the same, bro. I listened to Ghost when it came out, but bro, I'm listening to it yesterday and this morning, and I'm like, I think we missed one, dude.
I totally believe that, man. It didn't do well at all. And I can
it's the best work you've ever done. It is by far and away the best album you have ever created.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm like, I don't understand
it is
history.
And I'm not saying this just to bullshit you, dude, but when I have artists on, I like to go back through my iTunes.
Yeah.
Because when I'm listening to the music, I favorite my songs from the albums.
Yeah.
That's your album, bro.
Yeah, right there.
Every one is starred. Every one. All 13, 12 songs.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I don't know why it didn't do well.
It's crazy, bro. It's
social
so
media,
good.
And like even on Twitter, it got like over 1 million views and impressions, and it's still sitting at like maybe 150,000 streams total. When all our other albums would debut at like 1 million to 2 million. I don't get it. We can talk about it a lot in there.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm actually rolling right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just honestly like it made me rethink the whole music industry because I'm like, how do I go spend 30 grand of my own money, write the best songs I've ever written, produce it, put it out there, and it not do that great. And I think it's the best line thing I've ever done. So to me, I'm waking up. That's kind of why I started drinking.
It's a mind. Right?
Because I was so we cuss on here?
Yeah.
I was so by it. I worked my ass off for this record. I spent 35 grand on it. Staff, it's independent. It's the best thing I've ever released, and it didn't do anything. And then I see guys come out with some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen, and it's doing great. And I'm sitting there going, well, I might stay at home and just drink tonight because I have no idea anymore. It's like Chinese torture. I have no idea what works.
Right. Yeah.
What if I write another great record and it just doesn't do it? I'm going to keep just writing great records and no one's going to give a shit?
Well, yes, you do keep doing that. You do keep writing great records. That is the answer to that question. You do keep making those albums because, let's restart. Let's start the show because I want to give you a proper intro, Rich, and then I want to get into this.
Yeah.
And I was telling Rick the other day when he was here, normally, everything I do on this show is off the cuff. It's unplanned. It's unscripted. But with Rick and yourself, I wanted to put something together to show the respect that I believe that you deserve.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
I'm going to read something that I prepared to kick off the show. Sounds Like Texas, presented by Square to Toe Boot Company. Tonight, we are sitting down with one of Houston's proudest sons, a poet, a traveler, a hill country convert, and a certified Texas Playboy. Rich O'Toole isn't just a singer-songwriter. He is a Texas original that blends raw grit with a silver tongue. From the early days, man, of 17 and marijuana and jalapenos to viral tracks like Texas Women and American Steel. Rich has Billboard charting albums and a catalog that proves Texas music ain't dead. I think it's just moved to the hill country.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome to the room the one and only Rich O'Toole.
Thank you, man. It's great being here.
Hey, dude, it's so good to have you. Rich and I have more of a history than most folks coming on this show. I haven't really had an interview with you probably in more than a decade, and we did it across the hall here in the same building.
Yeah.
But you were one of the first people, Rich, that when I started Texas Country here at the Bull, doing the Texas Country thing, you were one of the first people that came in and did a private show for me and our listeners, a private bull ride. I still have that poster.
That's awesome.
And I just, you've always been around. I remember hanging out on Washington and seeing you plays in the bars down on Washington years ago, over a decade ago. And you've always just kind of been a staple. And I've always been a fan because, I'm a stoner, if you don't know. And the first song that I ever got turned on to by Rich O'Toole was Marijuana and Jalapenos.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Those are also two of my favorite things. So
who doesn't like that?
I've been a fan for a long time, and I respect your hustle, man. You've done it independently for such a long time at a very high level, in my opinion. If you don't know Rich O'Toole, native Houstonian, but an Aggie, again, the soul of a troubadour. He's a breakfast taco connoisseur who has toured coast to coast and is one of the most consistent independent voices to ever come out of the Lone Star State. Over 20 million streams, multiple Billboard charting albums, and again, a catalog that is incredible, with his last album arriving about a year ago called Ghost. And I said it off air, but I'll put a visual up in the video. Not often I always like to talk to the artist about their latest record, and I go through the record with them, and I like to point out my favorite songs on the album. If I did that today with Ghost and Rich O'Toole, we would be here till next week, because literally every song on my iTunes playlist for this album, Ghost, is favorited. That hill country sound is the way it starts. Texas Is My Home is classic. I don't know how you can't love that if you're from Texas. Like, that's just that's a jam. Roll the G-Town, back to that Playboy shit. And you also did a remix.
Yeah.
With some, you don't get this unless you're with Rich O'Toole, because Rich O'Toole is a Houston OG. And to get Paul Wall and Bun B to do a remix of this song, which was totally cool, man. But I also love the original. I think it turned out great.
Yeah.
The original's fantastic. That whole album, though, man, and like the Irish nod, John O'Reilly, like, dude, I'm an Irish kid,
Yeah, me too. O'Toole.
I love it, man. And I want to talk to you about Ghost, the new album, today. But it's just so cool to have you here, Rich. We ran into one another from time to time. I saw you at a Rockets game. I see you at rodeo. See you at cook-off. See you at different events. But a lot has changed since the last time that we were both older.
Yep.
And you recently moved out of Houston and moved to the hill country.
I did. Wanted to change.
And it seems like you spent quite a bit of time up there. I always see you at that awesome ranch with the buffalo.
Double C.
That place is so cool. I love it when you post pictures from that place. So I kind of didn't know if you had a place there or.
No, I didn't. No, I sold my house here. I was living in the Heights, and I just got into a funk. We'll talk about it in a bit with the record. I mean, the record came out, didn't really do that well, and I just went to straight drinking.
Yeah.
So when I was living in the Heights, I was like, I got to get out of here, because the people I hang out in Houston are oil guys, money guys. They're going happy hour every night. As a musician, I wasn't hanging out with any other musicians around Houston. Maybe Bun B, maybe a couple of songwriters, but most of the time I was with a group that was really drinking a lot. And so I sold my house, moved to the hill country, and it's really focused back on songwriting, getting out there, visiting radio stations. It's more centrally located. It made more sense for me. Yeah. And that's kind of why I made the change.
Yeah, man. Well, I think it's fitting, man. I mean, I think we miss you here in Houston.
Yeah, I'm always here.
It seems like it just suits you, man. It just seems like that's where you should be, Yeah. Like, I don't know if it called you, but I think it's awesome that you moved there, and I'm excited to see the evolution with your music and the artistry as you continue to grow there in the hill country.
Me too. We're doing this really dark acoustic record. I mean, obviously I went through a kind of a dark period of my life, and now I'm writing about it. So the songs are kind of really sad and dark. But it's a good record. I mean, this album will come out in October, and it's a great record. So I'm excited to release that. It's just me and a guitar.
What's the new acoustic album going to be called, Rich?
I don't know. Something kind of dark. I mean, I hate to go so dark, but I just needed to get this off my chest.
Yeah, I think you should lean into you, man. That last record, Ghost, I don't know what changed, but obviously there was an evolution in your music, and that is one of the most classic albums ever. I think years to come, bro, that is up there with Townes records. That's up there with Robert O'Keefe stuff. That is a timeless piece of work. The Ghost album from Rich O'Toole, which came out about a year ago. But again, it's a fantastic listen. I highly encourage you and suggest that you go spend some time with that album. You'll absolutely love it. But yeah, I think that there's been an evolution. I guess that's natural because we're getting older, but I just love this new direction. So I encourage you to lean into it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's good. It's a good written record. It's it's dark, and with Ghost, like we talked about, it put me in such a peril of like deep thought that's kind of like I told you I just went sober, and the reason I did was, man, I wrote that record. It didn't really do anything. I mean, honestly, I would consider it a failure, and it's my best material. It's the best performance. It's great written record, and for it not to do well, I just started questioning everything about the music industry. I'm like, why is this not doing well? But I'm seeing X, Y, and Z doing so well, and that stuff's terrible.
Yeah,
I don't know it. If I was a chef and I had a 5-star winning restaurant, and I know it's good, you come in there, you know it's good, and then I go across the street and there's a line out the door from McDonald's. I just wouldn't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
And so for me, I kind of went dark. I mean, in 6 months, I just started drinking every day, and that's kind of why I went sober. I just needed a break.
It's hard not to, but you can't let yourself go down that road. And then I always go back to, because I get in those ruts too. I've been in plenty of them. But I always go back to Rick Rubin. And he's like, you're a success as soon as you put it out there.
Yep.
So I just go with that, and I also, it doesn't always matter what others think.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then again, I'm sitting here telling you it's the best record you've ever.
No, that stuff does matter.
But I don't know. I don't know why it didn't, but who knows? 20 years from now, dude, that record's going to stand the test of time. And I honestly think, who knows what's going to happen in the future, but right now, today, Zach United's favorite Rich O'Toole album is Ghost.
Yeah, mine too. I mean, I've written 8 records, and it's my favorite one I've done so far. And look, it did. And to be humble, it did do well for what it did. It's at right now. It's at 150,000 streams total. We were trying to get to like 4 or 5 million, and try to hit Co-Wetzel numbers or Park McCollum numbers. And we're not even going to touch that. That's the hardest part. Is I'm very thankful for the attraction that I did get from my fans. Who are like, this is amazing. It was great. But outside of my own little Rich O'Toole realm, I don't think it like broke any barriers. And I was like, why? This should have been it. And so I don't know. That was the hardest part, But yeah, so I'm still thankful for what it is, and it's still getting momentum, and I'm still like we're talking about it right now, and I had no idea you felt that way.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of people don't tell me. Yeah,
I mean, it is by far and away my favorite stuff you've ever done.
Thank you.
Almost like I was a Rich O'Toole fan before I liked you, man. We've always been cool.
Yeah,
but like. Man, that record is so good, dude.
Yeah.
Like I am my Rich O'Toole fandom has been re-energized. You know what I mean? Like
right.
with that record. It's so good, man. It really is. And if you get a chance to see Rich, if you're, in the hill country, I really want to see you play out there, man. I saw you were hanging out with Tiff the other day at the Gypsy Ranch, and I'd love to see you in a spot like
She's
that.
She's awesome.
Man. Yeah, she is crazy cool. She is, she's a trip, man. We were supposed to hang out. Well, we did end up hanging out. So a couple months, May, it was the PBR World Finals in Dallas, and I invited her to come.
Yeah.
And she's packing up to come to Dallas.
Yeah.
And she gets attacked by the lemur.
Oh, God.
Did she not tell you this?
No, I don't think so.
What? Bro, it happened.
Maybe she did. I don't know.
Right when you were on her podcast.
Wow.
It was like a week before that, I think.
I was in rehab for 30 days with no phone, so
that could have been it. But yeah, she got in a fight with her pet lemur, and he like ripped a huge chunk of her face off, and she literally went to the plastic surgeon. She was like, "Hey, I'm going to go to the plastic surgeon, but I'll be there. I'm going to be late, but I'll be there." And she made it, and she's just awesome.
Go check her out.
Yeah, she's really
Floyd.
cool. But I would love to see
brings that kangaroo around. I love that kangaroo.
Yeah, Buckaroo.
Yeah, Buckaroo.
Legend, dude. Absolute legend. I would love to see you in the hill country. Let's go back to Houston, where you grew up.
Yeah.
You know, what part of H-Town shaped you the most, do you think?
Well, all the way through high school, I went to school in Stratford High School, so the west side. Grew up on the west side. Didn't really know much about, when the suburbs of Houston, you just stay in your own suburb. A-Leaf, Stratford, Spring Branch. You don't really branch out because you don't really have a car, and your parents really wouldn't take you downtown, especially in the 80s and 90s. Downtown was like, all homeless people like it is now, I guess.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, the Astro Stadium wasn't there. There wasn't stuff going on downtown. So we stuck in the suburbs, and I just grew up in the suburbs of Houston. And, coming up, I grew up on the top 40 radio, listening to, 100.3 or Kick or whatever. And, I didn't really know about Texas music. And so when I was out there in the suburbs, my dad would just listen to John Anderson and George Strait and whatever. So then it wasn't until I got to like late high school I started playing guitar a little bit, and people were giving me tapes of Lyle Lovin, Robert Earl Keen, and Guy Clark and Townes Van Zandt. And it just like sparked this thing in me because I always wanted to be a poet. I always wanted to write. And I always thought, well, I don't want to write like, Straight Tequila at Night by John Anderson. I thought that was an amazing song, but that wasn't like, it was too hokey for me or something. Right. So when I started listening to Townes and, Keen and stuff like that, and guys that were actually from Houston too, it just kind of sparked me. It's something what I wanted to do. And so it shaped me to be kind of a well-rounded guy living on the suburbs of Houston. I just got to know the culture. I got to know the Hispanic culture. I got to know African-American culture. I was raised really poor, so I actually had my elementary experience was I was the only white kid in my elementary until I got to middle school or high school. So it kind of made me more cultured to like see every working class work together, and that kind of gave me who I was. Versus a lot of the elites that I'm friends with now, they grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth.
Yeah, you do roll with a different crowd. I mean, Rich O'Toole, I don't know if I have anybody else on my Instagram that flies private jets more than you do.
Yeah, I never paid a dime. Those are just buddies. If they want to give me a ride, they give me a ride.
Hey, man, I ain't hating on you, dude. I'd like to get a ride too, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. When did you realize, you said you were like 15 when you started picking. When did you realize that you're going to go all in on music? There was no turning back.
I went to college. I was a terrible student. My mom actually was like worried, because I was obsessed with baseball. And then I couldn't get into A&M, wanted to go to A&M. I had to go to Blinn for a year. And when I was at Blinn, I couldn't rush a fraternity. I didn't get to see any of my friends, so I just picked the guitar and I learned every single Robert Earl Keen song I could possibly listen to. And I started, writing music, going to open mic nights. I'd win some songwriting competitions around, College Station. And I begged the girls at the Dixie Chicken to let me play every Sunday night. I was terrible, and I played for a free cheeseburger. But, man, it gave me, like, enough strength to fall in love with it and know that I wanted to do that. I did. I love the Troubadour. I love to travel. I'm not a guy to settle down. That's probably why I'm still at 41, not married, is because I want to see a different city. I want to taste every wine. That's kind of why I had to get help with it. Taste every hamburger, taste every taco, see every city, play to different crowds. I love that mentality. I love that lifestyle. And being a songwriter attracted me to that. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world.
Yeah, man, I love it when you're like put up a post. You're like, hey, I'm going to Boston to sit in this cabin to write.
Yeah.
Or like wherever,
Yeah, that was in Maine. Yeah.
I'm like, more people need to do that.
It's probably why the record.
You take it so seriously, and I love it. It's more than music, I believe. I don't mean to speak for you, but it is art. It is poetic. It is poetry, and it is a complete package with you.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine how your mind works and where it goes sometimes. So.
And it's probably why, to be honest with you, it's probably why the album didn't do as hot, is because there's a lot of hate with that. I totally have been different than anybody in my genre, because I remember, and I'm not putting him down by any means, but I remember opening for Casey Donahue a couple years ago, and he introduced me. He was like, hey, Rich O'Toole opened up the show. Congratulations. And then he kind of gave me a left-handed compliment. He was like, we never know with this guy. He's in Maine, he's in L.A., he's in this. And It was kind of insulting, and Casey's a great guy. He didn't mean to be insulting. But to me, I was like, where do you want me? To sit in my apartment in Austin and just with the Texas flag and like Texas country every single day? You don't want me out there seeing the world, writing, getting to know people? I'm sorry, but songs and inspiration come from me having a martini at 1 a.m. at a speakeasy in downtown Manhattan in New York City and meeting some of the most interesting characters. That creates songs.
Right.
Me going out in the stockyards every single weekend at Fort Worth seeing the same cowboy is not going to create me any inspiration.
I love that, and I totally get where you're coming from, man. I totally get that, dude. What is the coolest place that because you are a world traveler and you are a food and wine connoisseur. What's the best place that you've ever traveled to for, the fat kid inside you?
Yeah, Italy. For sure. Italy's Texas country is really big over there. So me and Randy and Wade and Blue Evanson, me and Blue did a acoustic tour in Italy a couple of years. They have a big promoter over there, and it's kind of funny. Everyone dresses up like the '80s. So like it said, like the poster was like Rich O'Toole live tonight, and it was just a picture of George Strait on there, like on my photo. And I was like, they don't care. There's probably 100 dudes line dancing. They were just like, yes. They're obsessed with Texas over there.
Dude, do you have that poster?
I gotta find it. I wish I would have took it. At the time, I was kind of not pissed. I was like, well, why is my face on there? When you're younger, you're so egotistical. But now I'm like, God, I wish I would have kept that poster. No, people over there, France, Spain, they love Texas and they love Texas country music. Maybe France not so. France really loves the music. They hate the ego that comes from Texas. But Italy and Spain, they don't care, man. They love that shit. And the fat kid in there, dude, is like that was the reason I had to get help. I wasn't a big liquor drinker. I just loved beer and wine so much. I would just every day I go to lunch, I'd order a bottle of wine. Every time I went to dinner, I ordered a bottle of wine, and I would drink it, and I would mix cheese with it, and I would taste everything on the menu. And I just started getting chubby, and my numbers were going up, and I didn't have it in check. That being said, Italy, yes, I would just go there and just drink 6 bottles of wine a day and eat 17 different types of pasta. Just be awesome.
I want to take us back to Texas. Rich O'Toole is my guest tonight. 100.3 The Bull, and of course on the free Odyssey app worldwide. You can get that in the App Store, presented by Square to Toe Boot Company. You are one of the most proud Texans I know. Yeah. Watching you on social media, man, I love the simple ones too. That's like, hey, wake up, have a breakfast taco, and jam some Texas country.
Yeah.
But I remember, I don't know when it was. Hell, it might have been the last time you were here, but I was so into your idea when you had Texmoji.
Yeah.
You remember that?
They did really well. I definitely remember it because we made about $110,000 in a span of 9 hours.
Yeah. Well,
they did really well.
Yeah.
We beat out Ellen. We were on the cover, not the cover, we were in Time Magazine, we were People Magazine. As we had the #1 ad for 3 days. And then it all came tumbling to a crash because people realized they couldn't use it on social media. They could only use it over text messages.
Right.
And we couldn't explain to people. And, Casey Musgraves was using it. All the famous McConaughey was using it. All the famous Texans were using it. And I was the face of it because I created it, my buddy Tim and Sean. And I had to go like, guys, Apple is the only company that allows emojis on social media. That's the only one. You can't. There's no way to do it. There's still not. So when we had Texmoji, it was so hard to then it came with so much hate, and we went down to making $500 a day until making $30 a day now. Like, it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was like changed the world because you could send a Texas flag over text messaging. And that was my dream. I was like, let's do that.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah.
It was inspired Texas emojis, like Texan-themed emojis. And it was so rad. It's such a great idea. But you always have cool stuff going on. Another thing that I really like about your social media, and I'm glad you brought it back, is the Coffee with Rich.
Yeah.
I don't even drink that much coffee, but I sit there and smoke while you drink your coffee and I watch your feed. So.
I did it back in the day to stay sober. And now that I am sober, I just do it to it kind of gives you a list to check in with your fans going, this is going on. Go to godtexasandtacos.com, get you a t-shirt. Go to Rich O'Toole, get your tour dates. Have a great day. Give them a little word of inspiration and move forward.
God, Texas, and Tacos is your latest adventure.
That's my merch store, yeah.
It's relatively new, right?
It is, yeah. We never had a merch store, and we needed one for online. And I was tired. I went through this phase of anti-narcissism. I hated seeing my own merch. It made me feel, someone walks up with my name on their chest, I feel weird about that because I was like, I'm not better than you are. Yeah. What are they saying? Can I have a t-shirt with your name on it?
Yeah,
I'll wear that.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to name my merch store something different. And I thought, well, what are 3 things that people love? And that's God, Texas, and tacos.
Yeah. And I think, all those things are you. You represent them, man.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the fat kid stuff. Tacos. I know that on the new record, on one of the songs, you're talking about a taco spot in New Braunfels.
Yeah, Los Gallos.
Yeah, that one. What's your all-time favorite taco spot? I mean, you're a guy that's probably had over 1 million tacos, easy.
Yeah, easy. Man,
what's the best taco Rich O'Toole's ever had?
You know who does a good job in town? They're like the Whataburger of tacos is Taqueria Rondas. There's like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
That place is solid.
You like it?
I like it.
It's not one of my favorites.
It's authentic. I used to like Rucci's a lot until like strippers go there.
They're very similar. Rucci's
They're very
and
similar, but Rucci's is like still smells like stripper at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, come on, I'm trying to enjoy my taco. I don't want to smell stripper right now. So
classic,
down the middle, like Whataburger type shit, Taqueria Rondas, but Taqueria El Tapatio on North Shepherd, great. I mean, I'll put them at like an 8.7. Just fire green sauce, just hot enough, not too hot. That tortilla that's like fresh, but they put on the grill. Barbacoa is fresh. The cilantro and onion. There's like 10 layers to building a successful taco, and you got to have all 10 of them. And there's only a couple places that do it.
Now let's talk about another food group that Rich O'Toole knows quite a bit about. In fact, he's become, I would say, somewhat famous on the internet because of his stance on chili.
Yeah. I've gotten 3 actual death threats.
That's insane.
Yeah, like really someone that threatened to kill me.
That's crazy.
Because of chili. Because beans going in chili.
Beans, first of all, definitely go in chili. If you don't have beans in chili, that's hot dog toppings.
Topping. Or like just a heartburn soup. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's not... we were poor too.
Right.
So my mom threw all types of stuff in our chili. Not just beans, but corn and...
You had to. We're talking about beans and chili, Nick.
No,
you want in on this?
yeah, you did. Nick, you know Rich.
The man, dude. What's up? Happy birthday.
Hey,
is your birthday
it's Friday.
tomorrow? Friday?
Yeah. June 27th, Houston has a gift.
Oh, what?
Yeah, DJ
dude.
Screw.
That's
Represent
wild.
H-Town Drown.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Are you getting some purple stuff? Or
Oh,
what?
yeah, dude. I live off that shit. Got that shit in my pocket. What are you talking about?
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna party tonight at Rowdy's, and then Friday I'm gonna go to see the Astros game.
Nice.
And then Saturday gonna fly to Vegas.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I know. Good. Just we're talking about it, man. Yeah.
And so what? Beans and chili, bro.
Beans and chili. I was saying I've actually gotten 3 legit death threats from people that have
It's just
people are so intense about it.
Yeah, I feel like so many things are so silly arguments. Like they're fun, right? But then there's always the fringe that just take it too damn far. Like even about Buc-ee's or Whataburger or anything, any of the things. It's like y'all, it's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
No one really cares that much about Buc-ee's. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Well, definitely Texans don't. That shit's for tourists.
Yeah, yeah, it really is.
I can't help but stop at Buc-ee's in general, right? But it's really the bathroom for me. It has nothing to do with all the snacks and shit. Like I'm
bullshit. Every time we go there, you turn me on to something new.
I get beef jerky.
Yeah.
I get beef jerky, and I get a large drink, and I use the bathroom.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
I don't do any of the.
You were the one who turned me. What is it? A chimichanga?
Really? I don't think so.
You told me to get that burrito.
You're right.
Dallas.
You're right. So there was one time a sandwich that was really good. I remember what it was. I can't remember actually. It was like a breakfast sandwich or something, and it was really really delicious. But yeah, other than that, like. I would say like the snacks and the bags of chips and the T-shirts and the cups and shit. Like I don't need all that. You know what I mean? Like get on with that.
That was day one. You know, your first 3 trips there, you tried that. You're like, no.
But at this point,
first 3 trips there cost you $300.
It really does. Yeah.
Because I'm not a trap. I'm not gonna fall.
The gas is cheap. That's why I stopped. Dude, the gas is cheap. The restroom's clean. and they have really good jerky. Those are the three.
And they tell you right up front when you go to Buc-ee's that you're about to get ripped off when you come in here. And this is how they do it. You've seen the triangle billboard sign where they have how much you make if you work at Buc-ee's and you're a manager. Dude, you don't make $200,000 a year unless you're buying $100 stuffed animals in this.
100%. 100%. People do their Christmas shopping there. Like, it's crazy.
So you're going to do 4th of July.
Yeah.
Is this song really about 4th of July?
It is, yeah. My buddy Britt Lloyd actually wrote this song. It's a great song. I usually do one cover per album. That usually I write everything, which I did for Ghost, and then this is the one song I didn't write. Well, you woke up scared now, baby, it's alright. You're with me now and it's okay. Maybe a bad dream about last night. You're with me now and you're okay. Like the 4th of July. Like the 4th of July. Like the 4th of July. I light up your sky. No other day can be as good as this night. Fill your heart with bright flashing lights. The 4th of July. Well, argument started over something so small that could not be. Maybe a bad dream about last night, but you're with me now and you're okay. Like the 4th of July. Like the 4th of July. Like the 4th of July, I light up your sky. No other day can be as good as this night. Fill your heart with bright flashing lights. The 4th of July. Like the 4th. Like the 4th. Like the 4th of July, I light up your sky. No other days can be as good as this night. Fill your heart with bright flashing lights. The 4th of July. Like the 4th. Like the 4th. Like the 4th of July, I light up your sky. No other day can be as good as this night. Fill your heart bright flashing lights. The 4th of July. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
4th of July, baby.
Dude, speaking of 4th of July, I don't know if you saw it, but I posted it on the Texas Country Network page today. It's a fireworks stand, and guess what they named it?
What a bang.
What a bang.
I put it on my Twitter. I screenshot yours and put it on my Twitter. Yes.
Yeah, yes.
I was like, no way, this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally should have put your song playing.
There was like a hot blonde hanging it. So when I first saw it, I thought it was some kind of OnlyFans shit.
Right.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like a Texas bunny balloon in this? Up in here, man?
I want to wrap up. I always like to ask artists that come in here, you know, what Texas means to them. But I kind of know what Texas means to you. But finish this sentence for me, if you will. And by the way, Rich O'Toole has an acoustic tour, 40 dates coming this summer.
Yeah.
RichO'Toole.com. And then he has a new merch shop, which is God Tacos in Texas.
GodTexasandTacos.com.
GodTexasandTacos.com. And again, the album Ghost, which arrived about a year ago, is one that you definitely want to go listen to. I encourage you. You will not be disappointed. In my professional opinion, and you know, I've been listening to music for 35 years.
Long time.
Professionally. It is the best album you've ever created. And I can't wait to hear what you do on the follow-up from the Hill Country. I can't wait for the acoustic album. You said it's coming in October?
Yeah, it should be in October, yeah.
Man, whenever you want to come back by, you always have a platform here. The door's always open, Rich. We're about to go eat some awesome Mexican food. But finish this sentence. Texas is?
Freedom.
There you go.
Yeah. You can get in your car and literally go to 90 different places that have a cold Shinerbach and a taco or barbecue and hit the open highway. It is a pure Disneyland of entertainment.